أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاخية والنخل ذات الأكمام والهب ذو العصف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار وخلق الجان من مارج من نار فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان رب المشرقين ورب المغربين فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان صدق الله العلي العظيم.
बहुत बुलंद सलावत अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद फातिमतु ज़हरा अलैहिस्सलाम बिन्त रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि व आलिहि वसल्लम قالت دخل علي عبي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله في بعض الأيام فقال السلام عليك يا فاطمة فقلت عليك السلام قال إني أجد في بدني ضعفا فقلت له أعيذك بالله يا أبتاه من الضعف فقال يا فاطمة ائتيني بالكساء اليماني فغطيني به فأتيته بالكساء اليماني فغطيته به وسرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلألأ كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله فما كانت إلا سعد وإذا بولدي الحسن قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أمّا فقلت عليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي فقال يا أماه إني أشم لك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعليه فقلت نعم إن جدك تحت الكساء فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جدا يا رسول الله أتأذن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب هودي قد عزلت لك فدخل معه تحت الكساء فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسين قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أمه. فقلت وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال يا أماه إني أشم لك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعليه. فقلت نعم إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء. فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جدة، السلام عليك يا من اختار الله، وتعذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء. فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي قد عسلت لك. فدخل معهما تحت الكساء. فأقبل إن ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب عليه السلام وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. فقلت عليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. فقال يا فاطمة إني أشم لك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عمي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعليه. فقلت نعم ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله، أتعذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال له عليك السلام يا أخي ويا وسي وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي قد عزلت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء. ثم أتيت اللهم صل على محمد. ثم أتيت نحو الكساء وقلت السلام عليك يا أبتا يا رسول الله، أتعذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بضعتي قد عزلت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء. فلما اكتملن جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ بي رسول الله بطرف الكساء وأومع بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وهامتي، لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، يعلمني ما يعلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم. إنهم مني وأنا منهم، فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، واذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. فقال الله عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان السماوات إني ما خلقت سماعا مبنيا ولا أرضا مدهيا ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيعا ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسريه إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساب. فقال الأمين جبرائيل يا رب ومن تحت الكساب؟ فقال عز وجل هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة هم فاطمة أبوها وبعلها وبنوها. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. باز بلند صلوات اللهم اللهم صل على محمد ومعدن الرسالة هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. فقال جبرائيل يا رب أتعذن لي أن أحبط إلى الأرض ليكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله نعم قد أذنت لك. فهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله. العلي الأعلى يقرأك السلام ويخصك بالتهية والإكرام ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماعا مبنيا ولا أرضا مدهيا ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيعا ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله إنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساب فقال لي أبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنهم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهرهم تطهيرا. واجب الصلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فقال علي لأبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واستفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر قبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وهفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي عليه السلام إذن والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. اللهم صل. فقال أبي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني برسالة نجيا ما ذكر كبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا وفيهم محموم إلا وفرج الله حمّا ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غمّا ولا طالب حاجتي إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي عليه السلام إذن والله فزنا وسعدنا وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة. اللهم صل على. With a loud salawat, I'd like to invite a Jabir for the recitation of a salam. Boaz Buland salawat.
صلوات. تشنگی مشک و علم بالی سکینہ عباس ہے تیرے نام سے منسوب یہ چرچا عباس. تشنگی مشک و علم بالی سکینہ عباس. کٹ گئے ہاتھ چدی مشک سکینہ افسوس تر ہوا خون سے علم نہر پہ آقا افسوس. کیوں نہ ہو نوحہ کنا ثانیہ زہرا عباس. کیوں نہ ہو نوحہ کنا ثانیہ زہرا عباس. تشنگی مشک و علم بالی سکینہ عباس. راہ تکتی ہے سکینہ در خیمہ پہ کھڑی تشنگ بچی پہ کیسی ہے یہ آفت کی گھڑی. خود کو بہلاتی ہے دے دے کے دھلاسا عباس. خود کو بہلاتی ہے دے دے کے دلاسا عباس. تشنگی مشق و علم بالی سکینہ آباد گر گئی سر سے ردا زینب مضطر کی اٹھو لاش اٹھتی نہیں شبیر سے اکبر کی اٹھو آؤ دے دو ذرا سرور کو سہارا عباس آؤ دے دو ذرا سرور کو سہارا عباس تشنگی مشق و علم بالی سکینہ عباس مارتا بالی سکینہ کو بھلا شمر لئین تنگ ہو جاتی جو تم ہوتے ستمگر پہ زمین بھاگنے کو بنا ملتا اسے رستا عباس بھاگنے کو بنا ملتا اسے رستا عباس تشنگی مشق و علم بالی سکینہ عباس آگ خیموں میں لگی اہل حرم قید ہوئی بے کجاواس ہوئے زندان لیل کے چلے ثانیے زہرا نے حسرات سے پکارا عباس ثانیے زہرا نے حسرات سے پکارا عباس تشنگی مشق و علم بالی سکینہ عباس ہو گیا ٹکڑے بدن ابن حسن کا دیکھو مرہنہ آ گیا بازو میں رسن کا دیکھو قید ہونے کو ہے شبیر کا کنبہ عباس قید ہونے کو ہے شبیر کا کنبہ عباس تشنگی مشق و علم بالی سکینہ عباس صرف ہلکا سا کریں बात खातून कयामत न कभी टालेगी, हश्र की धूप न रेहान प आने देगी, सिर्फ हल्का सा करेंगे जो इशारा अब्बास, सिर्फ हल्का सा करेंगे जो इशारा अब्बास, तशनगी माश्को अलम बाली सकीना अब्बास, है तेरे नाम से मंसूब ये चर्चा अब्बास। सलवात।
Just a couple of reminders and announcements before I invite Dr. Sheeba Rizvi to the member. First, I would humbly ask everyone to come toward the front as we will have Mominin joining us a bit late. وعازب لن صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وعلى Muhammad. As you're all aware, this center runs off the backs of the community. So I implore you all to donate. We have a kiosk at the front, and you can ask for a debit machine or even e-transfer. If you would like to sponsor the English Ashra, you can come over to me, Brother Abid, or Sister Annie over the ladies' side. And if you plan to sponsor an Urdu Majlis, you can get into contact with Jabin Auntie or Mir Uncle. Uh, to those who have donated, I would like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We do a center. Um, Also, with any contribution that you have made, may Allah reward you for it. I would like to now concluding announcements. We also have another announcement. We have a Q&A tomorrow with Dr. Sheeba Rizvi, early around 5 o'clock tomorrow. So you guys can 5:15 tomorrow. 5:15 we have announcements. 5:15 we have a Q&A with Dr. Sheeba Rizvi to make sure to come early to ask those questions. And with a loud salawat, I would like you all to please rise as I invite Dr. Sheeba Rizvi to the member. Ba'azib and salawat.
جزاك. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله على ما أنعم وله الشكر على ما ألهم والثناء بما قدم من عموم نعم ابتداها وسبوغ لئن نصداها وتمام منن نولاها جمعا العساء عددها ونا عن الجزاء يمدها وتفاوت عن الإدراك يبدها ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خير المبشرين والمنذرين شفيع ذنوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وحبيب قلوبنا سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد ما صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين صلوات الله عليهم أجمعين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد ولعنة الله على دائم أجمعين. أما بعد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Dear Mu'mineen, Mu'minat, friends, It is my honor once again to have this opportunity to talk with you. Tomorrow we will have a Q&A, so hopefully we have some questions and then we can discuss them. If I am able to answer, I will answer. If not, I will try to find the answer. We've been talking about Vilayat Takwini, and we know that what Vilayat is now, right? No. Vilayat is protectorship, guardianship, help, support, control, authority. And we know what Takwini is? Takwini is existence, to be. So, control of existence, authority over existence, to help existence, and to support it. Do we know what existence is? Everything that is existence, right? When something is, so you exist. Yes, I exist, we exist. Everything around us we can see, touch, and hear, it is all in existence. All of this, we said, is being controlled by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but He controls things by Wilayah. Wilayah is the power through which Allah has created everything and controls everything, regulates everything, and gives rizq, gives health, gives life, gives power, gives characteristics, all through Wilayah. We have said that Wilayah is, Takwini is the Wilayat of the Ma'sumin. The Anbiya, the prophets, had a level of Wilayah to explain Wilayah, and we saw what some of the prophets did, right? You saw the abilities of Sulaiman, alayhi salam. You saw the abilities of Dawood. You saw what Ibrahim did, and we talked about what Isa alayhi salam did as well. Then we took a look at what the Masumin are doing and what their powers are also. We said that the Holy Messenger splits the moon in two. Amir al-Mu'mineen turns back the sun. We see that every Imam at some point showed and manifested some miracle. But they only manifested miracles when they needed to. When you have all power and control over everything, then the question becomes, why do you let anything happen? If Amir al-Mu'mineen is so powerful, then why is it that they come to his door with fire? Why do they put a rope around his neck? Why do they force him to try and pay allegiance to Abu Bakr? When we look at Imam Hassan's power and ultimate might and authority, how is it that he is given poison when he knows it is poison? How is it that he is martyred? How is it that he has to form a peace treaty when there is a battle, even though he has all power? If Imam Hussein alayhi salam has all power, why is Karbala happening? How is it that the arrows are coming and he does not disintegrate them? How is it that he does not look upon Yazid's army and in one moment destroy all of them if they are so powerful? These are important questions. But you know, with power, there comes also the authority and responsibility to Allah. So what happens is the more powerful you are, the more careful you have to be. That means that if I am going to wrestle with you, for example, let's say we're wrestling together, and then what happens is, and you know, and you hit me with all your strength, right? But you're much younger than me. 20 years from now, you'll easily beat me up. But maybe right now, if there's a 4-year-old in front of me and they hit me, nothing happens. But when I'm going to hit them back, I have to be careful. Maybe I'll just a little tap. With power, there comes a sense of responsibility as well. When you look at how powerful the Masumin are, you know, this was a question that was asked one time from one of the Safirs of the Imam. You know, our last Imam, he had 4 Safirs during his time of Ghaibat-e-Sughra. They were very wise people. One time, one of them, the first Safir, he is sitting with a group of companions, lovers of the Ahlul Bayt, and they say, why is it that if the Ahlul Bayt are so powerful and they have Vilayat Takwini, then why did they go through so much hardship? So much difficulty. I mean, if I have power, then won't I make my life easier and won't I make everything I want to happen? Could they not have just made everybody into Muslims? Could they not have made everybody, force everybody to accept Imam Ali? So why did they go through such hardships? And you know, the Safir answered and he said that it needs to be understood that the more powerful Allah sent a person, the more hardship Allah gave them. The more powerful they were, the harder their tests were, the more harder things they went through, because the more power you have, the more likely it is that people might think you are Allah. So when you are so powerful that people start to think you are God, but when you are martyred, when you are wounded, when you go through sickness or you go through difficulty, then they realize that, okay, this is not God. What do we see Amir al-Mu'mineen doing? We see Amir al-Mu'mineen, in 39 days, the Muslims tried to capture the fort of Khaybar. For 39 days, it was such a powerful fort that their walls were so high and their gate was so big that it took 40 people to pull on chains to lower the drawbridge. Have you seen a drawbridge that comes onto a moat or a canal or a river? So there was a big gap and no one could get across unless the drawbridge came down. And when that drawbridge came down, 40 people it took to bring it down. And so they were so fortified they were not able to. The army would come close to them, and then they would rain fire and arrows upon the army and they would run back. But Amir al-Mu'mineen was what? Not with them, because when the Prophet had taken his army, Amir al-Mu'mineen had stayed behind in Medina. And so for 39 days you see them trying again and again every time. So every time, someone said, I want to be leader today. And so one of them became leader, one of the Muslims. And they went and then they got hit and they ran back. The next day, another one said, I want to be the leader. And whoever was the leader, he would hold the alam. Today is the day of alam. Today you will be holding alam. You will be crying for the alam dar. So, the alam was given to one of them. He went and he ran back. The alam was given to another one. He ran back. For 39 days, they kept on running back with the alam. That is why we have so much love and respect for the alam dar. Even though he went through so many wounds, he never dropped the alam. He never ran back. He kept on going forward. So this is the son of Ali. But the other Muslims, when they were given the alam, they kept on running back. And then on the 39th day, the Holy Messenger says, tomorrow we will be victorious on day 40. And he says, tomorrow, why will we be victorious, they said. He said, we will be victorious because I will give the alam to the one who is the bravest man, to the one who is the lion of Allah, to the one who I love and Allah loves, and the one who loves us, and the one who loves Allah, and the one who does never flee from the battle. So they didn't know who that was because Ali wasn't there. Ya Ali. So they didn't know who that was. Jeete raho. This Nara Hadri, this is our strength. This is our power. This is our light. This is our chant. This is what shows to the angels in heaven. When the angels in heaven hear the Nara Hadri, they look down and they say, who is this who is taking the name of Ali? And when Allah tells them that it is a moment and they are sitting on the Farsh-e-Azha of Imam Hussain, they say, can we go and visit them too? And then Allah gives them permission and they come down and they pray for you. And they do dua for the one who said Nara Hadri and the one who said Ya Ali. And so then we see, it is not just a small thing. This is ibadat. This is marifat. This is iman. This is gawahi. This is tasdeeq. This is your attestation that we are still believers in the Wilayah. And then what happens is they're all waiting and they're all thinking, the Muslims, maybe it's going to be me because I'm pretty brave. I think I might get the alam. And one says to him, no, you're not brave. You ran back 3 days ago. And then a second one says, it's got to be me. I'm very brave. He says, no, you aren't. You ran back 7 times. He says, it must be you. He says, you have never fought once in a battle. Every time you run back. They were fighting amongst each other. Who is it going to be? Who is it going to be? All night they couldn't sleep. They kept on fighting. On the 40th day in the morning, when the time comes to conquer Khaybar, the holiest messenger comes out and he has the alam in his hand and he is waiting to give it to somebody, and everybody is looking to see who he will give it to. It is said that it was many days' ride to Khaybar from Medina, but Amir al-Mu'mineen, when the Prophet called him, he took one step forward and his first step was in Khaybar. And then he's standing right there, and they see Amirul Mu'mineen standing there, and they're all surprised, and they're like, where did Ali come from? He had a sickness in his eye. Why is he here? And his eye was still not healed. And then when he came to the Holy Prophet, he put his saliva upon the eye of Amirul Mu'mineen, and then Amirul Mu'mineen's eye was cured, and then he was given the alam. And then when he gets the ilm, now he attacks. And when he attacks, what he does is he goes and he jumps down into the canal, climbs up to where the drawbridge is. He holds the drawbridge with his hands and tears it off. He tears it off, the metal chains that took 40 people to open. But because the chains are broken, there's no way to hold up the drawbridge now. So it is said that he holds the drawbridge, and he is holding the alam with one hand, he is holding the drawbridge with one hand, and his feet. Because as they start to cross, all of the Muslim army is crossing with their horses, and Amirul Mu'mineen is holding up the bridge. And then after they have all have crossed, at one point, Salman looks at the Prophet and says, Ya Rasulullah, what is Ali doing? Where is this power coming from? The Prophet says, oh Salman, you are looking at Ali's hand, look at his feet. When Salman looks at the feet, he sees Amirul Mu'mineen's feet are not on the ground, they are in the air. This is Vilayat Takwini. One time a man comes and sees Amirul Mu'mineen in his house about to eat bread. And he goes and he has a bag of bread and there's a lock on it. And when he opens up the lock, the man is thinking that he's going to pull out some very expensive bread, some very pricey, maybe $50 bread, not the $1 one. When he pulls it out, it is dry rye bread, jaw. And it's so hard that Amir al-Mu'mineen has to break it. He tries to break it, but it doesn't break. And then he has to break it with his knee. The man looks at Amir al-Mu'mineen and says, oh Ali, are you not the one that held up Khaybar with one hand? Why is it that you are not breaking bread now? He says that was the strength of Wilayah. That was the strength of Allah, and now I am just using this strength. Ya Ali. Ya Ali. So what you see is that, so what you see is that Wilayah and power Amir al-Mu'mineen uses when it helps the Muslims, when it helps the Prophet's cause, when it helps Allah's cause. He never uses it for himself. So this means that when somebody comes and puts a rope around his neck, he does not fight back. So if you do zulm against him, he doesn't use his power. But when it comes to Allah's deen, this is where he's using his power. So they used it when it was necessary to show to the people who needed to be shown. You will see Imam Zainul Abidin, Allahumma salli ala. He goes through much hardship. Sorry, say that again. Beautiful nara. Ya Ali. Ya Ali. Ya Ali. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin ba'alima. Alhamdulillah, ये वो अमानत है जो नस्ल तक पहुंचानी है. बड़े सुरखरू हैं वो माँ बाप मौला के सामने जिनके बच्चे नारे लगाते हैं फर्श अज़ा पर और जिक्र करते हैं. इन बच्चों की आंखों में आंसू देखे हैं मैंने, इनको मातम करते हुए देखा है. ये शक्ल गम की बनाते हैं. ये ट्रेनिंग जो है ये वाकईन उन विलायती माओं का करम है और शरफ है कि जो बचपने में ही विलायत अली पहुंचा देती हैं. वो इल्म जो Adam is taught the names of the Panjatan on Arsh, and the Shia baby learns those names from their mother when they are born. It's such a big boost for your life and for your iman. Imam Sajjad is one. Ajeeb baat hai na. देखिए, Hada Muhammad wa Antal Mahmud, Hada Ali wa Anta Aliul Ala. This is Adam's ilm. After Allah says, وَعَلَّمَ الْآدَمَ أَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا, and we taught to Adam all of the names. And when Adam says the names, هذا محمد وأنت المحمود، هذا علي وأنت علي الأعلى، هذا فاطمة وأنت فاطر السماوات والأرض، هذا الحسن وأنت المحسن، هذا الحسين وأنت قديم الإحسان. These are the names that Adam alayhi salam is taught as soon as he is made Nabi and Khalifa. And these names, the mother of the Shia baby is teaching to her baby when they are in their arms. Allah ek, Panjatan panch, Imam 12, Masoom 14. हमारे 2 साल के बच्चे को ये मालूम होता है जो इल्म आदम को अता हो रहा है अर्श पे, वो फर्श पे जो काम अल्लाह अर्श पे कर रहा है वो काम फर्श पे शिया की माँ कर रही है. इसलिए कहा कि अगर if you feel peace in your heart from listening to our fazail, then always do dua for your mother. Always do dua for your mother. It is your father who holds your hand and brings you to Farsh-e-Azha. It is your mother who instills vilayat within your muscles and bones. It is their pure milk that makes you what you are. And that is why your heart is pure and you can house the love of Ali in your heart. It is no ordinary qalb that can hold the ma'rifah of Ali. It is a very special qalb. Because wherever Ali comes, Allah prepares that place first. He does not let Ali come there until He has prepared it. If Ali is going to come in the Kaaba, then He prepares the Kaaba. He says, Ibrahim and Ismail, make the Kaaba, for this is where my Ali will come. In the same way, Ya Ali, Ya Ali. In the same way, He makes your parents and then they make you. Because He made Ibrahim and Ismail make the Kaaba. And He said the Kaaba is the place where Ali will come for 3 days. The qalb of the mu'min is the place where Ali will live forever. Ya Ali. You know, you see Imam Sajjad and you see many difficulties he goes through. It is hard to imagine that this one has complete power and authority. But when Abdul Malik, who was the governor of Medina, one day comes up to Imam Sajjad and visits him in the home. And this is after Karbala. And at that time, Imam Sajjad is living a quiet life. He is just doing his teachings through dua, what you call Sahifa-e-Sajjadiyah. And as he is doing these things, he is spreading Sharia, he is spreading Ma'rifah, he is spreading Fiqh, he is spreading Iman, Hilm through dua. And then what happens is, when Abdul Malik comes, he is the evil governor. He comes, he is part of Bani Umayyah. He comes and says, "Oh, son of Hussein, I have heard that you are saying things that are very strange." And Imam says, "What have I said?" He says, "I have heard that you are saying that Hazrat Yunus was given punishment for 40 days in a whale because he thought before accepting the Wilayah of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Because for a moment he just thought about it. That means all the prophets were taught, do you accept La ilaha illallah? They said yes. Do you accept Muhammadur Rasulullah? They said yes. Do you accept Aliyun Waliullah? They said yes. But if any of them even thought for a micro nanosecond about Wilayah before accepting it, then they went through some hardship and some test. Because Allah expects a prophet not to hesitate when it comes to the Wilayat of Amir al-Mu'mineen. That means that never hesitate in believing in the Wilayat of Ali. Never hesitate in believing in their fadail. Never think about it, but accept it. And then understanding will come after acceptance. So Hazrat Yunus hears La ilaha illallah, he says yes. And this is in Madinat al-Ma'ajiz, the book Madinat al-Ma'ajiz, which basically means the city of miracles. Ayatollah Sayyid Hashim Hussain Bahrani, a very one of the most knowledgeable scholars of Shia history, and he was around in the 1600s in Bahrain. So Sayyid Hashim Hussain Bahrani collected some miracles in Madinatul Ma'ajiz. It's 4 volumes. And one of them is regarding, there's a chapter on each Ma'soom and each of their miracles. And this one is regarding the fourth Imam alayhi salam. And when Abdul Malik looks at him, he says that you are saying this, and Imam says, yes, I am saying this. And he says, you don't believe it? He says, prove it to me. Imam says, I'll prove it to you. I will come with me. So Imam says, stand up. Imam calls a ghulam. The ghulam comes and ties a blindfold around Abdul Malik's eyes. And then he says, hold on to my abba. He holds his abba. And then the Imam takes one step forward. He says, now open your eyes. Abdul Malik, when he opens his eyes, he sees he is no longer in Medina. He is at some shore, some water side. And there is a beach and there's a big ocean in front of him. And then Imam looks at the ocean and says, "O Noon, come to me." Noon is the name of the whale that had swallowed Hazrat Yunus. If you read the story of the Quran, you will find the story of Hazrat Yunus. Have you heard of the story of Hazrat Yunus when he was on the boat and then he was swallowed by the whale and the whale put him on the shore and then he continued? So this is about the reasoning behind. There's an in-depth discussion in some of our books about the hardships the Anbiya went through and how it related to hesitancy in accepting Wilayah. It's not that they hesitated, it's that they thought about it. And Allah expects very high standards from a Nabi, right? So if a Nabi is told, don't go near this tree, and Hazrat Adam goes near the tree, then Allah does not expect that from a Nabi. I told you don't go near it, now you will have to go to earth, and now all of your offspring will live on earth until Yawm al-Qiyamah. So Hazrat Yunus is going through that hardship. Now what happens is when the whale comes up, Imam looks at him and says, who are you? And he says, I am Noon, assalamu alayka ya hujjatullah. My name is Noon, salam upon you, O hujjat of Allah. Now, Abdul Malik is looking at the Imam very surprised that this whale is speaking and he is calling this man Hujjatullah. And then he says, tell me, were you not the one who swallowed Hazrat Yunus for 40 days and 40 nights? He says, yes, Allah had commanded me to do that. And he says, why did Allah command you to do that? And he says that he commanded me to do that because Hazrat Yunus had thought about it before accepting the Wilayat of Amir al-Mu'mineen. And now Abdul Malik is getting frightened and he's getting scared and he's saying, oh, Zain al-Abidin, we should leave here now. Please take me back to Medina. I don't want to be here anymore. And then the Imam says, no, we are not done yet. Wait, I want you to meet some more. And then he says, he calls forth some horses that come up from the ocean. And these are horses with wings. And when he looks upon the horses, there's 313 horses with wings. And when he looks at them, he says, do you know who these horses are for? And then he says, no, who are they for? He says, these are for the followers of my last offspring, the 12th Imam. The 12th Imam of our lineage, their 313 followers will be upon winged horses. So this is maybe another motivating factor for us to try and be in the closest followers of the Imam. You get to fly on a horse. Some will be on clouds. Some will be flying on clouds, the narrations say. Some will be on these horses. And the rest, well, let's see what happens. That day is coming soon, so we will find out. But do you see how powerful, these miracles are that are happening? And they only do them when absolutely necessary. It is said that, he says, blindfold yourself again. He takes one step, he comes back to Medina. By now his face is white. He cannot understand what happened. He walks out, and as he walks out, he says that these children of the Prophet are all magicians. He says, Jadugar hai, and then he leaves. That's what they always do with things they didn't understand. Because today we are talking about the Alamdar, I'd like to take a moment to talk about something that he said. There is a khutbah that he has given that is mentioned in a book that is titled Hadith Karbala, which is by Allama Talib Johari, alayhi rahmah. And he quotes this khutbah as Khutbah Abbas in his book, and he gives the references for it. You will find this book online as well, or maybe you have it in your homes. It is a beautiful book to read. Allama Saab has put a lot of effort in collecting all the authentic narrations regarding Karbala in this book. So Allama Talib Johari's book, Hadith Karbala. And if maybe you can translate it too into English, I don't know. The translations are getting better now, like Google translated the text, right? text, Urdu to English. So you might get a little bit of an idea. Don't always rely on translations, always double check, but they can be pretty good. It is said that when Imam Hussein alayhi salam is at Makkah for Hajj, before he leaves for Karbala. Because what happens is Yazid and Yazid's army, Yazid sends some soldiers to assassinate Imam Hussein alayhi salam in Makkah as soon as possible. So they come to Makkah. But when they come to Makkah, they see that everybody, at Hajj time, they are in their ihram. Someone's doing tawaf, someone's doing sahi, someone's doing salah. And so it's hard to go in with your soldiers' garments. So what they did was they put on the ihram and they hid swords under their cloth. And then there were 40 of them. And these 40 came in. And the idea was 20 of them were told, this is how sneaky and evil this man Yazid is. 20 of them are told, you will assassinate Imam Hussein. As he is doing tawaf of the Kaaba, 20 of you will come, you will surround him, and you will assassinate him. There were another 20 who were supposed to assassinate those 20. So they were told that as soon as he is assassinated, you take your knife, you take your swords, and you stab those 20. So then what happens is the ones who kill them, you kill them, and then you say, oh, we killed them, we avenged Imam Hussein, and we don't know who these guys were who came. We are sent by Yazid to protect Imam Hussein, and these ones assassinated him, and now he's done. Do you see the plan? Does it make sense? Okay, so that, no, it doesn't make sense. It's basically like this. Maybe, if there's one person, and he is to be assassinated, and you send another person to shoot this one. But then you tell a third person, as soon as he shoots him, then you shoot the shooter. Now, if you shoot the shooter who killed the man is dead. And this was done with the JFK. Have you heard the history of the president of the US, JFK? No? Same tactic. This is an old Yazidi style tactic. So what happens is, well, you can just read up how was JFK assassinated and you'll find out. So then what happens is, as this is happening, now Hazrat Abbas, he is always with Imam Hussein, and he's watching. And he can see the ones who are coming closer to his master, he can see the ones who are coming closer to his brother, and he can see which ones have hidden swords. Now Hazrat Abbas knows that Imam Hussein does not want any bloodshed here. He could grab them and break their necks. He could kill them right here. He could fight them, or he could try and grab them and drag them outside, but he doesn't want to create a scene for Hajj. So what he does is, he goes and he climbs up upon the Kaaba. Now here's the Kaaba, and here's Hazrat Abbas standing upon the Kaaba, and all the people are doing tawaf. And the assassins are there, and Imam Hussein is there as well. And then he says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Rahman and the Rahim. And he says, Alhamdulillahi sharafa hada biqadumi abihi. All praise is for Allah who blessed this house with the footsteps of the father of Imam Hussein. Hazrat Abbas is saying that this is where Amirul Mu'mineen was born. This is where he came. This is where he put his blessed foot down. And he is praising Allah by saying that all praise is for Allah who sent Amirul Mu'mineen here. Man kana bil amsi baytan asbaha qiblata. This was a Baytullah before Ali came here. But it was after Ali came that this became the Qiblatullah. Because before, the Prophet of Islam declared the Kaaba to be the Qibla, which was after Hijr, around 2 Hijri is when this became the Kaaba and the Qibla. It was the Kaaba, but it became the Qibla. Before that, in Makkah, the Holy Messenger prayed towards Baitul Muqaddas. He did not pray towards the Kaaba when he was in Makkah and when he was in Medina. But then when they were in Medina, then the Qibla was changed from Baitul Muqaddas, which is in Palestine, because that's where the prophets of Bani Israel were. So that was the old Qibla. From the time of Hazrat Adam, the Kaaba was the Qibla. And then it was the Qibla until the time of Hazrat Ishaq. And then Hazrat Ishaq and Yaqub, and when they moved to Palestine, Baitul Muqaddas is there, that becomes the Qibla for the Jews and the Christians. And then when Islam comes, the Qibla is still Baitul Muqaddas. But in 2 Hijri is when it changes. So that is what Hazrat Abbas is referring to. He's saying that it became the Qibla after. And then he says, أَتُصَدُّونَ طَرِيقَ الْبَيْتِ الْإِمَامِ الْبَرَرَةِ. Are you trying to stop Hussein from doing tawaf? مَنْ هُوَ أَحَقُّ بِهِ مِنْ سَائِرِ الْبَرِيَّةِ وَمَنْ هُوَ أَدْنَى بِهِ. Who is more worthy of doing tawaf of this house than Hussein? Who is closer to the Kaaba than Hussein? وَلَوْلَا حِكْمُ اللَّهِ الْجَلِيلَةِ وَأَسْرَارَهُ الْعَلِيَّةِ وَإِخْتِبَارَهُ الْبَرِيَّةِ. And if it was not for Allah's wisdom and His secrets and His testing of the people, لَطَارَ الْبَيْتُ إِلَيْهِ قَبْلَ أَنْ يَمْشِي لَدَيْهِ. The Kaaba would have flown to Imam Hussein before Imam Hussein had taken one step out of Medina. Abbas is saying that if my master wanted to visit the Kaaba would come to my master. قد استسلم الناس الحجر والحجر يستمل على يديه. Everyone amongst you wants to go and kiss the Hajar Aswad. Have you seen the Hajar Aswad? It is a stone in the corner of one of the corners of the Kaaba. He's saying, Mawla Abbas is saying, everybody wants to kiss Hajar Aswad. وَالْحَجَرُ يَسْتَمِلُ عَلَى يَدَيْهِ. But Hajar Aswad wants to kiss the hand of Imam Hussein. And he says, لو لم تكن مشية مولاي مجبولة من مشية الرحمن لوقعت عليكم كالصقر الغضبان على أصافير الطيران. Mawla Abbas says that if it was not that Allah's irada is filled in the chest of my master Hussein, I would have fallen upon you like the hawk falls upon tiny birds and ripped you to pieces. Mawla Abbas is saying it is only Imam Hussein's command that is stopping me right now, for his command is the command of Allah. Otherwise I would have torn you to pieces for even looking at my master. And then he says, أتخوفون قوما يلعبون بالموت في طفولية فكيف كان في رجولية. Are you trying to intimidate the ones who fought with death when we were children? Mawla Abbas is saying that I have fought with death. I have wrestled with death as a child, because when he was 13 he fought in the battle of Siffin. At age 13 he is fighting in the battle of Siffin. Now he is 30. And he is saying that I have fought with death in my childhood. Do you think now you will scare me when I am in the peak of my manhood? وَلَفَدَيْتُ بِالْحَامَةِ لِسَيِّدِ الْبَرِيَّاتِ دُونِ الْحَيْوَانَاتِ. And I have sacrificed all of my existence for the help of Imam Hussein, who is the master of all in creation, all humans and all animals. فَانْظُرُوا ثُمَّ انْظُرُوا مِمَّنْ شَارِبُ الْخَمَرِ وَمِمَّنْ صَاحِبُ الْحَوْضِ وَالْكَوْثَرِ. Look and look again. Who are you siding with? And who are you going against? Who is the one that is the drinker of alcohol? And who is the one who is the owner of Kawthar? ممن في بيته الغواني السقران وممن في بيته التطهير والقرآن. Who is the Yazid who in his house has song and dance? And who is Hussein who in his house has wahi and Quran? ممن في بيته اللهوات والدنسات وممن في بيته التطهير والآيات. Who is Yazid who in his house has games and just merriments and song and dance? And it's hard to translate it, but it means lahawat means ayashi. Urdu has a better word for it, ayashi. And danasat is pastareen harkate. Where is the ayashi and the pasti? And then he says, وَمِمَّنْ فِي بَيْتِهِ التَّطْهِيرُ وَالْآيَاتِ, purity and verses of the Quran. And he says that وَأَنْتُمْ وَقَعْتُمْ فِي غَلْطَةِ الَّتِي وَقْعَتِ الْقُرَيْشِ. And you are making the same mistake that the Quraysh had made. لِأَنَّهُمْ أَرَادُوا قَتْلَ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ. For they intended to murder the Prophet of Islam. وَأَنْتُمْ تُرِيدُونَ قَتْلَ ابْنِ بِنْتِ نَبِيِّكُمْ and you have decided to try to assassinate the son of the daughter of your Prophet? ما ولا يمكن لكم ما دام أمير المؤمنين حيا. And it was not possible for them as long as Amir al-Mu'mineen was alive. فكيف يمكن لكم ما دمت حيا سليلا. How will it be possible for you to approach Hussein as long as me, the living sword of Hussein, is still alive? When Hazrat Abbas says this, they become terrified. They change their mind. They keep their swords hidden and they all run away. Imam Hussein comes down, Hazrat Abbas comes down, stand next to Imam Hussein again, and that is when they prepare. He says, "O Abbas, I do not want bloodshed in the haram of this Kaaba. Let us leave here now, let us go." And so then they go. And when they go, they do reach Karbala. And when they reach Karbala, we do see that the thirst of the children is very hard for Abbas to tolerate. He is hearing Sakina saying Al-Atash. He is hearing the little children of Bani Hashim in their tents with their dried water flasks, with their mushk that no longer has a drop, saying Al-Atash, Al-Atash. It is said that Bibi Sakina comes to her Chacha Abbas and says, "Oh Chacha Abbas, I am looking at Asghar and I see that my little Ali Asghar, he is so thirsty, he has not drank for 3 days, and I am afraid that he might die at any moment. We must get him water." Hazrat Abbas says, "Oh Sakina, come to me." When she comes to him, he sits down on his knees, he hugs her. He takes the mushk from her and he puts it upon his neck. And then he takes her in his arms and he says that, "I have tried to ask your father for permission. Oh Sakina, will you come with me to ask your father for permission? Maybe he will allow me to go to the river and get some water." It is said that when he comes, Imam Hussein looks at Abbas, and Abbas had asked Imam Hussein many times to be allowed to go. And now he looks and he says, "Oh Abbas, I see you have brought Sakina so that I will let you go." He looks at him and he says, "Abbas, do you know that I am sending you to your death? Sakina is sending you now, but now she will cry many times and remember you. And she will say that I wish I did not have water, but I had my chacha instead." He says, "Abbas, why do you want to go? Do you not know that you are my alamdar? You are the alamdar of my army." And Abbas looks to his right and looks to his left and says, "Oh Mawla, what army is left that I am the alamdar of? What army is left? I have seen my elders, I have seen the old companions of the Prophet go to their death. I have seen the children that I taught to fight go to their death. Oh Master, Abbas does not want to live anymore. Let me go to get water." He says, "Okay, you can go, Abbas, but you cannot go like this. Will you not go and ask my sister Zainab for permission as well?" Abbas goes to the tent of his sister and he stands outside and he says, "Oh Zainab, I have come to ask you for something." And she says, "Abbas, do you not know that you are my greatest asset? What will you ask me for? I have nothing to give besides you." And he comes in and says that the children are thirsty. I cannot look upon their faces anymore. Allow me to go. She says, "Go Abbas, you can go. But oh Fizza, before Abbas goes, call the women." And all the Sayyadaniya come. "What is wrong, O Sayyida Zainab? What is wrong?" She says that I promised you that your hijab will be safe, for my brother Abbas is with me, but now I am sending my brother Abbas to his death. And they look upon him and they say, "Al-Wida ya Abbas, wa waila ya Abbas." It is said that as Abbas leaves the tent, the Sadani's cries make it seem like it is not the living one, but the mayyat that is leaving the tent. He bows his head down and cries as he leaves, and he hears the cries of his sisters and the daughters of Zahra. He comes and gets upon his horse. Hussein is there, Sakina is there. They are looking at Abbas going to the river. Sakina turns to the young thirsty children and says, "Do not worry, my chacha will bring water for us. My chacha is going. Do you know that my chacha is very brave and he is very strong?" It is said that as he went and reached the river, there came a point where Sakina could not see the alam of her chacha anymore, for he had gotten off the horse to get water into the mushk. Sakina says to her father, "I do not see my chacha. Where is my chacha's alam? I cannot see it, Baba." Baba looks at Sakina and says, "Do not worry, my dear daughter Sakina, for Abbas has reached the river." And then she sees the alam again and says, "Oh yes, I see the alam. Look, children, the alam is coming. My chacha is coming and he is bringing water to us." It is said that at that time one arm of Abbas was severed, and Sakina sees the alam no more as Abbas tries to hold the alam as the alam is falling. And then Hussein looks at Sakina and says, "Hai mere bahi ka bazu." It is said that at that time Sakina sees the alam again. The Sher of Hussein has held the alam without his arms, and the alam is coming towards Sakina, but then again another arm is severed. As Abbas's arm falls to the floor, he tries to hold the alam again, and as it dips, Sakina does not see it. But then again she sees the alam, and now when she sees the alam, she says, "Look, my chacha is coming towards me." But at that time the arrow of Hurmala pierces the mushk of Sakina, and as the water starts to flow, Abbas looks down to take the arrow out, but his arms are no longer there. He grabs the arrow with his teeth, and as he grabs the arrow, someone hits upon the back of his head. And as he is hit on his head and his conscience starts to flow, the blood is flowing from his wounds and the water is flowing from the mushk of Sakina. Abbas now sees, "I will not be able to get water to my Sakina and my Asghar." At that time Abbas turns his horse around, and now Sakina sees the alam is not coming towards her. No, it is going back to the river. Sakina says, "Baba, Baba, I do not want water. Please tell my chacha to come back." فَسَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا أَيَّ مُنْقَلَبٍ يَنْقَلِبُونَ لَا لَعْنَةُ اللَّهِ عَلَى الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ. Matam Hussein.
आता है जख्मी अलम अब्बास का, हो गया मरना सितम अब्बास का। आता है जख्मी अलम अब्बास का, हो गया मरना सितम अब्बास का। आता है जख्मी अलम अब्बास का, हो गया मरना सितम अब्बास का। करते हैं मातम हरम अब्बास का, हो गया मरना सितम अब्बास का। करते हैं मातम हरम अब्बास का, हो गया मरना सितम अब्बास का। करते हैं मातम हरम अब्बास का, हो गया मरना सितम अब्बास का। हाय लबे नहर हुआ क्या गजब, तीर लगा मश्क सकीना पे जब। आ गया होठों पे दम अब्बास का, हो गया मरना सितम अब्बास का। करते हैं मातम हरम अब्बास का, हो गया मरना सितम अब्बास का। कहते हैं रो रो के ये अहले हरम, जाओ हशम सब्र रज़ा और करम। کس طرح بھولیں گے غم عباس کا، ہو گیا مرنا ستم عباس کا، کرتے ہیں ماتم حرم عباس کا، ہو گیا مرنا ستم عباس کا، لے کے شہنشاہ وفا سے حیات، چومنے قدموں کو بری خود فرات، دیکھے کہ جاؤ حشم عباس کا، ہو گیا مرنا ستم عباس کا، کرتے ہیں ماتم حرم عباس کا، ہو گیا مرنا ستم عباس کا، شاہ کے غم خار پہ ہر ایک پل، شہ کے عزادار پہ ہر ایک پل، ہوتا ہے اب بھی گرم عباس کا، ہو گیا مرنا ستم عباس کا، کرتے ہیں ماتم حرم عباس کا، ہو گیا مرنا ستم عباس کا، اب بھی ہے بشیر پہ مقتل کی یاد، اب بھی ہے باقی شہ کربل کی یاد، اب بھی ہے اونچا علم عباس کا، ہو گیا مرنا ستم عباس کا، کرتے ہیں ماتم حرم عباس کا، ہو گیا مرنا ستم عباس کا، نبض سکینہ تو وہی رک گئی، شاہ مدینہ کی کمر جھک گئی، جب ہوا بازو قلم عباس کا، ہو گیا مرنا ستم عباس کا، کرتے ہیں ماتم حرم عباس کا، ہو گیا مرنا ستم عباس کا، اب کہاں بجھ پائے گی دکھیا کی پیاس، ٹوٹ گئی باری سکینہ کی آس، ہو گیا بازو قلم عباس کا، ہو گیا مرنا ستم عباس کا، کرتے ہیں ماتم حرم عباس کا، ہو گیا مرنا ستم عباس کا، آتا ہے زخمی علم عباس کا، ہو گیا مرنا ستم عباس کا، یا حسین
سر پیٹ کے شے کہتے تھے میں رہ گیا تنہا، اب پاس میرے میرا علمدار نہیں ہے، اب پیٹ کے شے کہتے تھے میں رہ گیا تنہا، اب پاس میرے میرا علمدار نہیں ہے، اب پاس میرے میرا علمدار نہیں ہے، رخ سوئے نجف کر کے کہاں سے نبی نے، کس موڑ پہ چھوڑا ہے مجھے میرے اخی نے، تم کرب و بلا کے ذرا دیکھو تو بابا، اب پاس میرے میرا علمدار نہیں ہے، اب پاس میرا علمدار نہیں ہے. جب خالی علم نہر سے لائے شاہ مظلوم، رو رو کے پوہی کہتے تھے دل ہو گیا مغموم. بتلائے کوئی مجھ کو میں اب جی کے کروں کیا، اب پاس میرے میرا علمدار نہیں ہے، اب پاس میرے میرا علمدار نہیں ہے. تم جب سے گئے چین میرے دل کو نہیں ہے، اب تم ہو کہیں اور یہ شبیر کہیں ہے. رہتا ہے زباں پر میری اب تو یہی بھیا، اب پاس میرے میرا علمدار نہیں ہے، اب پاس میرے میرا علمدار نہیں ہے. ہر سمت ہی پھر جانے لگی غم کی، ہر سمت ہی پھر جانے لگی غم کی گھٹائیں، محسوس یہ ہوتا تھا کہ روتی ہیں ہوائیں. آتے ہوئے دریا سے یہ جب کہتے تھے مولا، اب پاس میرے میں علمدار نہیں ہے، اب پاس میرے میرا علمدار نہیں ہے. فرماتے تھے شہ میرے برادر چلے آؤ، ان بچوں کی تم آ کے ذرا پیاس بجھاؤ. خود سوچو کہ میں پیاسوں سے یہ کیسے کہوں گا، اب پاس میرے میرا علمدار نہیں ہے، اب پاس میں میرا علمدار نہیں ہے. ہم شیر سے یہ کہتے تھے اے زینب دلگیر، خیموں کا محافظ نہ رہا ہائے تقدیر. یہ سوچ کے دل ڈوب رہا ہے میری بہنا، اب پاس میرے میرا علمدار نہیں ہے، اب پاس علمدار نہیں ہے. ڈھارس تھی بڑی مجھ کو تو عباس کے دم سے، وہ پاس نہیں خود کو میں سمجھاؤں یہ کیسے. پردیس میں اب کوئی نہیں میرا سہارا، اب پاس میرے میرا علمدار نہیں ہے، اب پاس میرے میرا علمدار نہیں ہے. اظہار حزیں یہی بکا کرتے تھے سرور، مارا گیا دریا پہ میرا غازی صفدر. ہم شیر بڑھا دو یہ علم کا علم شیر جری کا، اب پاس میرے میرا علمدار نہیں ہے، اب پاس میرے میرا علمدار. یا عباس اونچا رہے اپنا علم، اونچا رہے اپنا علم، جب تک ہے دور آسماں، سن لے یہ ہر پیر و جوان، آواز پر شبیر کی برتا رہے یہ کارواں رکنے نہ پائے، ایک قدم اونچا رہے اپنا علم، اونچا رہے اپنا علم، ہر قلب پر چاہتے چلو، دنیا کو بتلاتے چلو، ایک ایک محاذ ظلم کی تصویر دکھلاتے چلو، ہر دل میں بھر دو شہ کا غم، اونچا رہے اپنا، کب تک نہ مانے گا کوئی، وہ وقت آئے گا کبھی، ہر قلب پر چاہتا رہا اپنا حسین ابن علی، اس در پہ ہر سر ہوگا ہم، اونچا رہے اپنا علم، جب بھی کوئی مشکل پڑی، دنیا ایسی در پر جھکی، سینوں پہ بل کھا کر ادھر اٹھی صدائے یا علی، نکلا ادھر باطل کا دھم، اونچا رہے اپنا علم، یہ پرچم عباس ہے، ٹوٹے دلوں کی آس ہے، اب تک اسی پرچم تلے زندہ کسی کی پیاس ہے، جس نے سہے لاکھوں ستم، اونچا رہے اپنا علم، عباس ہے نام وفا، آواز و انجام وفا، منہ موڑ کے دریا سے جو پیتا رہا جام وفا، ہوتے رہے بازو قلم، اونچا رہے اپنا علم، اونچا یا عباس.
زيارة. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد الوصيين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى، السلام عليك يا حسين الشهيد، السلام عليك يا إمام زين العابدين ومحمد الباقر وجعفر الصادق وموسى الكاظم وعلي الرضا ومحمد تقي وعلي النقي والحسن العسكري. السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان، علمان علمان من فتنة الزمان، أجل الله تعالى فرجا وظهورا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Now I would like to call Sayyid for Dua Imam Zamana. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.